a practical, pragmatic, proactive manifesto in collective community, capitalistic economics, where all participants can monetize the American dream today and compound returns for future generations. Get to know us, follow us on our social media, and if you want to have a 20-minute consultation, reach out to us by email or phone. Sermon notes. Number 1. Minority communities are at a triple disadvantage: lack of financial literacy, lack of access to capital, and lack of organizational leadership in strategic organizations to mobilize execution in participation in the greatest capitalist system in the world. Why aren't minority communities in the USA utilizing and participating in ownership of the world's largest companies of yesterday, today, and tomorrow in the U.S. equity markets? Sermon notes. Number 2. Collective economic pools of capital increases bandwidth in collecting dividend income, option premium income, and equity appreciation participation for generations to come. The seeds we plant today will bear fruit today for this generation, and greater fruit in future generations. True wealth building takes time to proactively create generational wealth legacies. Poverty eradication occurs with long periods of compounded returns that directly benefit the investors and the social programs that are of priority to our targeted communities. Our priorities will never be another community's priorities. Sermon notes. Number 3. What if there was a fund named the Reparations Fund that generated monthly distributions directly to the investors from cash flow and profits invested in U.S. equities and private companies, carrying out the mission of strengthening our communities, creating jobs, provide access to capital, advisory boards to talent in our communities that is either non-existent today or severely inaccessible to the masses. Sermon notes. Number 4. What if 50% of the management fee was annually invested in social causes and financial infrastructure to grow minority capital bases on a localized level? So in future generations, there would be increased minority firm representation on the U.S. equity exchanges themselves. Sermon notes. Number 5. Whether you realize or not, the minority population is already passively participating in the U.S. equity markets via retirement accounts with no voice in regards to where, who, and how your wages are being invested. Sermon notes. Number 6. We can execute at higher level. Our future generations are dependent upon us to vote with our pocketbook and surplus savings. Our decisions today will have cataclysmic ramifications, positive or negative, whether we are proactive, reactive, or no-active. An outcome and/or consequence will manifest. We are 161 years post-slavery, without progressive, proactive, and pragmatic positive strategic action. The next 161 years may not yield results your would be proud of for you, grand and great-grandkids. Sermon number 7. I am going to bring the message to a close. At some point, we have to be the solution providers to the ails in our community. We have a free will and the power of self-determination to plot, plan, and execute the future for ourselves and the generations to come. Will you do your part alongside many others that share a similar plight and be a participant in harvesting the investment returns available today and even more returns available tomorrow and future generations in making the United States of America a more perfect union? The greatest capitalist system that the country has ever experienced cannot, will not, and shall not realize its greatest potential without utilizing and monetizing the creativity and talents we have to offer as a people. Sermon notes. Part 8. Will you join me and many others in building a reparations fund so America can live up to the promise of realizing the American dream? Not just for certain communities, but for our collective community as well.